Hi, Carrie and Nina. So great to talk to you today. We are going to learn more about Making Welcome, the new Pro-Justice retreat on Shalom Mountain.
Hi, Alexis. Thanks
Hi
for
there.
doing this with us.
Yeah, so much.
So let's get started just talking about why this retreat is important.
Well, I mean, just even that question is a big question, right? Like, why is this important? The pro-justice team for Shalom Mountain formed after George Floyd's murder really shone a highlight on systemic racism, which has always been around, but got more people talking about it, got more people involved. And so we really see this retreat as a step in helping to change Shalom Mountain's culture to be more inclusive. Because what we do know is that BIPOC people that have been through Shalom have been harmed. And we're a place of inclusion and love. And so this is kind of our next step in our journey of really being more inclusive to everybody that wants to come through the door and helping everybody feel welcome.
Adding on to what you said, Carrie, I think that the BIPOC people who have come to Shalom Mountain and haven't returned, the harm was done unintentionally.
Yes.
And one of the reasons why this retreat is so important is that is for us to be able to learn what are those things that are underneath, what are those unconscious things that have us harm others when we don't want to do that, when we so desperately want to love and be loved.
That is very important. Thank you. Who is this retreat for?
So we'd really love to have people come to this retreat who have been to Shalom Mountain. I know in the listing we talked about having had at least a mat trip retreat under your belt. Really, it's like, or if you've been to a few Shalom retreats or other non-Shalom retreats, but other retreats at Shalom Mountain, because we want people that also have a sense of the community, because this is a retreat for you as an individual, and it's also a retreat that we're hoping will start spreading out through the community, because anti-racism work is community work. And so attending this retreat is one step in actually making this cultural change at Shalom. So if you have a curiosity or interest in this type of work and you're interested in Shalom Mountain, this retreat might be a good fit for you.
Right. Also, I want to say that there's a lot of people who feel a lot of blankness about this subject, and they don't understand why. And there's actually a lot of different reasons why we just turn off. Like, do you know what I mean? We just sort of like, boop, pop out. And if you also are in that place, if you don't feel anything, I welcome you to come to this retreat, because there's feelings under there. There's lots and lots under there to investigate that will not open you up, but will also open up the rest of the and the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Wonderful. That sounds good. Okay, it seems like an enormous, big, heavy topic. What would you say to people who are interested in the retreat, but maybe it sounds a little bit scary to them?
That's a lot of questions. You go ahead, Carrie. Interrupted.
Okay, I'll go. I mean, the thing that I was just thinking about, even before you asked the question, is anti-racism work is trauma work. And Shalom Mountain is a place where people come and do work on trauma, theirs, other people's. And so, and we do it in an embodied way. So while this is weighty, kind of like any other, I mean, God, I remember the first time I drove up to Shalom, I was like terrified. I was crying in my car. And and yet it was a first step that changed my life, to a lot of fantastic changes that leads me to where I am today. And so I do think like these things can be heavy and scary, and we're going to try to deal with it the way we do everything. Sometimes it's heavy and scary and uncomfortable, and sometimes there'll be laughter and joy, and all of that is going to be welcome in this retreat.
I mean, I think about like when you wonder like it being scary, and sort of think about what you get from a Shalom retreat. I find Shalom retreats still to be very scary to go to. So And I also know that it's a process, right? So this is and that when you're in this process, you're in this process with other people, right? There'll be others there who are also in your shoes, who are also scared, and know that we're all going to be doing this. Like we expect to stumble. Like I expect to stumble. That's what you do, right? Because we're human beings. And that when we stumble, we're going to deal with each other and be with each other in a loving way. So just know that what was it Gerald Judd used to say, something about you're forgiven before you fuck up.
Mm.
So just the same thing applies, right? You're going to be loved no matter what.
Mhm.
Wonderful. And what will, after going through that wonderful process, what will attendees leave with?
You want me to start that one, Carrie? And then
Sure, you start.
Carrie and I've been leading together for a while, so
The
we have
volume,
this.
the volume is
Yeah.
beautiful to witness.
Well, so what can you leave with? I think I believe my hope is that you'll leave with a really embodied sense of this work, of what it means to you and how it lives in you. I'm just going to say a couple of things so that you can share as well, Carrie. I hope, my hope is that you leave with a sense of hope, right? That, because there'll be others in this with you. I mean, this is a subject that people generally don't talk about. So, so you'll have others to start the conversation with you or to be in the conversation with you. And then that we know that moves out from there.
Mhm. Yeah, beautiful. I mean, that covers a lot with what you said. And I think the other piece is like part of the embodied piece is like, for me, embodied work and embodied living is learning to pay attention to my body day to day and notice when something happens that's not quite sitting right and actually listening to my body's wisdom. And so we're hoping you also, part of this the embodied work we'll be doing, that you'll be able to take that out with you. We'd love for you to be able to feel like more empowered to take this out into your everyday life. When you get home, whatever that looks like, that we'll have some space at the end of the retreat to talk about that and to work with it. And to Nina's point, like not doing it alone, because doing it alone, like when I think of doing this kind of work alone, it's overwhelming and daunting, right? And as a white person, I have a lot of privilege that sometimes I can shut it out, right? Because I'm not faced with it as I literally walk through the world every day. But when I think about having community to do it with, it's still heavy and it's still a lot sometimes, but it's less daunting. So
yeah. That sounds really great. Thank you so much for sharing. I know a lot of work has gone into developing this retreat and through the ProJustice team. So thank you so much for the work that you're doing for our entire community.
Thank you, Alexis, for setting up this.
Just really excited to be here with you, and also really excited to be able to be with all of you.
I'm looking to doing this with you, Nina. Yeah.
Thank you.
This is a new retreat for us, and I know it's been something that's been important for a long time. So I'm glad we're actually getting a chance to do this.
It's a very exciting time. So thank you so much for lending your time with us today, and for everybody who is interested in learning more about the ProJustice Retreat Making Welcome, there is information around this video. You can click on the link to sign up. So thank you and see you all later.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.